Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little different. A while back on my trip to Arizona, I had mentioned at the airport that this gentleman stopped me and said that they told him to give me this book. So I took it, and the name, but I haven't read it yet, so I want to read it with you guys. Maybe we can learn to understand it together. And Tristan, I got to do this for you once before, whenever I was in Kuwait. So I think it'd be kind of fun. So it is called The Journey of Self-Discovery. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Panda. I don't know. I can't pronounce some of these words, obviously, because I grew up in the South. So, yeah, I speak country. And it's called the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Anyway, it's a journey of self-discovery. I'm going to try my best, obviously, to pronounce these words, correctly. And I believe that's the gentleman's name. However, I didn't obviously get it right, but that's neither here nor there. So, let's go with it. I'll probably just do the introduction and then maybe like the first chapter or something tonight. So, introduction goes, are you in any way dissatisfied with your life as it now stands? Has the pursuit or even the achievement of the goals you have set for yourself become somewhat frustrating? If so, read on. For one acquainted with the spiritual wisdom of India, the ideal life is not a fast-paced competitive run through a self-serving consumer paradise. There is a higher measure of success and happiness than the number of high-gloss gadgets, bubbles? I don't know. Oh, I don't know what that means. But boobles, and thrills one can, excuse me, one can zoom through the checkout counter with. So before time runs out, an awakened person will try to learn something worthwhile along the way, to gradually accumulate assets of permanent value. In the final analysis, the supreme accomplishment is to improve significantly the one possession that is really ours to keep, our consciousness. Our sense of identity and our inner self, all else eventually slips away. Seen in this way, life becomes a journey of self-discovery, and that is the theme of the book, The Journey to Self-Discovery. It's your guide to a new way of looking at life, a way proven to lead you to higher levels of awareness and satisfaction. Thousands of people like yourself thousands of people like yourself. Ooh, that feels good on my foot. Oh, sorry. That is not in the book. Not in the book at all. I don't know. My foot got on my fuzzy blanket. Sorry. I get sidetracked. I'm like, squirrel. Okay. So, oh, jeez Louise. Okay. So thousands of people like yourself are already experiencing these results. All it takes is some expert guidance, and the kind available from a person who has already completed the journey and who knows the way and means by which that you can arrive safely at your destination. In the journey of self-discovery, you will become intimately acquainted with a spiritual master about whom Harvey Cox of Harvard School of Divinity said, why they gotta go and do all that? Cyrilla Prabhupada is, of course, only one of the thousands of teachers, but in another sense, he is one in 1,000. So maybe one in a million, according to Dr. Cox, one of America's leading Christian theologians, Cyrilla P. That's just what I'm going to start calling it because I can't do the name. Life was pointed proof that one can be a transmuter of truth and still be vital and a singular person. So Cyrilla P., the founding spiritual master of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, translated over 40 volumes of the most essential work of Vedic literature. Vedic is one of my favorite, by the way. Why, I don't know. I'm just drawn to it. And I really enjoyed the way that they eat. Vedic teachings, okay, so you know how I love to cook, and I'm really good at it, and everybody really likes eating it, including myself. So they take time to enjoy their food and be, you know what I mean, just be there in the moment with the dinner and stuff, and whether it be by themselves in their food or if we are with other people and enjoying our food. And then there's you have something salty, sweet, bitter, tangy. So you just really incorporate all of those things. So a lot of times whenever you see me, if anybody ever sees me eating, or if you see me eating, I will throw in an orange. I love, not an orange, but mandarins. I love mandarins. I don't like clementines, but I love mandarins. And so I will throw a mandarin in on just about every meal, if not every meal, or just make mandarins my meal because I love them so much. But that's one of my verdict things that I picked up so in my studies. So anyway, that's just a tidbit. So complete sets of these books with the original Sanskrit and the Bengal texts have been purchased by thousands of universities and libraries around the world, and dozens of scholars have praised them. But that is not what you will find in the journey of self-discovery. In these pages, I'm on the bed, so I'm trying to get comfy. So in these pages, you will see that Cyrilla P. is taking the essential truths of timeless Vedic wisdom of India and communicating them live to persons like yourself in talks, conversations, and interviews. With gravity and wit, roses and thunderbolts, Cyrilla P. delivers the transcendental knowledge with maximum impact and precision. All the selections printed in the Journey of Self-Discovery originally appeared in Back to Godhead, the magazine Cyrilla P. founded in India in 1944. When he came to America and he started the Hare Krishna movement in 1966, he requested his new followers to take up the task of publishing the magazine. So ever since, Back to the Godhead has served the vital function of bringing the Vedic knowledge to the contemporary world, addressing the spiritual needs of people confronting the frustrations of modern life. The authoritative and informative The Journey of Self-Discovery is also easy to read. The anthological format allows you to approach the book in a variety of ways. You can read The Journey of Self-Discovery from start to finish, proceeding through it systematically and its systematically arranged selections, or you can glance over the table of contents and find the selection of particular interest. Because each selection is short and complete in itself, you can easily explore topics that attract your attention without having to go through the entire book. So the principal lesson of the Journey of Self-Discovery is that our conscious selfhood is not an accidental cosmic side effect of fleeting electromagnetics discharge is generated by a temporary configuration of subatomic particles at some point in space and time. So rather, each center of consciousness is itself an absolute and irreducible unit of reality. As Cyrilla P. tells the physicist Gregory Benford, the physicist Gregory Benford, that we don't say that scientists' knowledge is useless. Mechanics, electronics, this is all knowledge. But the central point is the autonoma genea, I don't know, it's ATMA, with a line over the A, and then a dash, and then JNANA, with a squiggly over the first N, and then a line over the A. Self-knowledge and knowledge of the soul. And after we understand the soul and the quest of knowledge continues, Cyrilla P. tells the press, tells the press conference in LA, in the background of this body you can find the soul, whose presence is perceivable by consciousness. Similarly, in the universal body of the cosmic manifestation, one can perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord of the Absolute Truth by virtue of the presence of the superconsciousness. Okay, I'm going to reread that. Just because I wasn't picking up what it was putting down there for a minute. Okay, so conference in LA, he says, in the background of this body, being our body, you can find the soul. So the soul's in the back of our body, whose presence is perceivable by consciousness. Okay, so the soul, in fact, is not the body, okay, according to this. That's interesting because I've had many questions on whether or not the body and the soul were the same thing, but according to this, it is not the soul, or the soul is not the body, the soul is in the back of the body, and our consciousness perceives it. So similarly, in the universal body of the cosmic manifestation, one can perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord, or the Absolute Truth, by virtue of the presence of superconsciousness. Okay, let me read that one more time. In the background of the body, you can find the soul, whose presence is perceivable by consciousness. Similarly, the universal body of the cosmic manifestation, one can perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord, or the Absolute Truth, by virtue of the presence of the superconsciousness. So if we're gonna, this sounds like they're talking about like a microcosm and a macrocosm, right? And the microcosm would be us as the body. We can find the soul in the back of the body because our conscious can perceive it. So if it says similarly in the universal body of the cosmic manifestation, which would be like what? Let's just say the universe, because that's what we call the macrocosm. Then one can perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord is in comparison to the soul that we can find in the back of the body. So in the back of the universe, we can find the Supreme Lord, or the Absolute Truth, by virtue of the presence of the superconscious. So by virtue, that means virtue is consciousness. Or wait a minute, sorry. Whose presence perceivable by consciousness, the similar universal body of the cosmic manifestation can perceive the presence. Okay. Perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord, our absolute truth, by virtue of the presence. So absolute truth is perceivable. Perceivable is an action, so virtue would be the law on that, maybe, or the principle. And the super consciousness obviously is consciousness. So the Lord, Supreme Lord, can perceive the presence of the super. Okay, so similarly, universal body of the cosmic manifestation. One can perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord or absolute truth by virtue of the presence of the super consciousness. Okay, so that's basically just saying that it's the same thing. So we can, so we are the universal body of the cosmic manifestation. That's us, and we can perceive ourselves, the Supreme Lord or the absolute truth of us by virtue of the presence of the super consciousness, which is the unified consciousness. So the first one is an individual, and then the super conscious is the collective, like is all of us as an entity, as a whole. Kind of like when a collective consciousness entity, like the Council of Light or the Palladian collectives or whatever. So that's what that's saying. So, okay, got it. Roger that. I can move on. Excuse me. All right, maybe we might not even get into the first chapter. Who knows? So just as we are an individual and personal, those are two separate things. So just because we are individual and personal, or just as we are individual and personal, the superconsciousness is also individual and personal. In the Vedic scriptures, the identity of the superconsciousness self is revealed to by Krishna, the supreme personality of the Godhead. So Cyrilla P. describes Krishna as the greatest artist, the source of all beauty and attraction. The real key to happiness and satisfaction, Cyrilla P. explains, is discovering the external personal link between ourselves and the superconsciousness. Oh, the eternal link, my bad, sorry. Discovering the eternal personal link. I'll correct that. So, the real key to happiness and satisfaction is discovering the eternal personal link between ourselves and the superconsciousness. So this state is called Krishna consciousness, and the journey is self-discovery. You will learn how to achieve this, the highest and most pleasurable consciousness in our own life. So Krishna consciousness is loving consciousness in the selection absolute love. So everyone is frustrated, husbands, wives, boys, girls, everywhere there is frustration because of our loving propensity is not being utilized properly. So I'm just going to use S because it's a really long name and it's in here a lot. So SP then goes on to explain how love is most fully expressed when directed towards the Supreme Person, Krishna, who can perfectly and completely reciprocate with everyone. So this is the secret of lasting happiness in Krishna encounters of the soul. In Krishna enchanter of the soul, SP advises that a man is attracted by a woman is attracted by a man, and when they are united in sex, they achieve their achievement of their material world increases more and more. But our businesses is not to be attached, or our businesses is not to be attracted by the glimmer of the material world. Our business is to be attracted by Krishna. And when we become attracted by the beauty of Krishna, we will lose our attraction for the false beauty of the material world. So here, SP stands in contrast to the many so-called spiritual teachers who promise their followers that they can have it all, unrestricted material enjoyment, as well as spiritual profit. In the Showbottle Spiritualist Exposed, Showbottle Spiritualist Exposed, SP gives an unsparing critique of the deceptive gurus and spiritualists who mislead their followers. SP did not manufacture his own spiritual process with the view to personal profit. Rather, he freely taught the specific meditation technique recommended in the Vedas for this age. In the meditation, though transcendental sound, SP tells students at Boston Northeastern University, if you take up this simple process, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Okay, yeah, I don't really know how to say that, and I'm not going to, okay. I don't know how to say that in the way that they are. So, okay, so it's HARE is the first word, okay? And the second word is KRSNA. Now, that can be Hare Krishna or Har Krishna or Her Krishna. I mean, I'm not really sure, but that's the that's what I got. So I'm gonna go with hair, not like hair, but hair. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. You are immediately elevated to the transcendental platform. Maybe it's har. I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up and get back to you on that. Okay, so we are not even going to get into the first chapter because I'm going to have to do some research, and we're already 23 minutes into this. I'm going to finish this page and we're going to call it good for today. So, again, this is HARE, first word. Second word, KRSNA, comma, and then, no, all these are first letter capital, just so you know. HARE, and then the second word after the comma is KRSNA again. So it's Hare Krishna, and then comma, and then Krishna, comma, and then it says har, so the HARE, second word HARE, and then a backslash, and then HARE, and then the second word on that is a capital R, and an A with a line over it, and an M and an A, and then a comma. And then it goes, first word is that har, so HARE. Second word is capital R, A with a line over it, M and an A, and then comma. And then so that word's obviously Rama. So, and then it goes, it has comma, and then it's Rama, Rama, and then comma, hair. So that's it. So I'm going to say it again. So hair Krishna, 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 hair Rama, 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 hair. And that's what it's got. So it says you are immediately elevated to the transcendental platform. So those who progress with the journey of self-discovery are better able to understand and solve the world's problems. In the material problems, spiritual solutions, we learn from SP how that we can practically apply Krishna consciousness to relieve the widespread suffering brought on by the violence and the food shortages in the early 1970s. SP gave a remarkable, foresighted analysis of the failure of the communist systems of the government to provide happiness for its people. You will find this striking conversation in section VI. I don't remember Roman numerals either, so you're just going to have to work with me here. The perspectives on the science and the philosophy in elevation, in fact, and fantasy. SP says that we accept evolution, but not the forms of the species but none of the forms of the species are actually changing. The bodies are already there, but the soul is evolving by changing bodies and by transmigrating from one body to another. See, I wondered that. So the defect of the evolutionists is that they have no information on the soul. So ultimately, the journey of self-discovery leads from this material world to the spiritual world. By entering the spiritual world, SP tells his listeners that everything in the spiritual world is substantial and original. The material world is only the imagination. It is just like a cinematography picture in which we see only the shadows of the real thing. So for those who suspect that the real thing is something more than a soft drink, then the journey of self-discovery will illuminate the path that leads to life's ultimate, most perfect destination. And for those who may not regard themselves as seekers, but are nevertheless curious about the philosophy of the Hare Krishna movement, the journey of self-discovery provides a thorough yet compact introduction. It's by the publishers. Okay. Only 28 minutes. All right, so maybe we will get into, I don't know. We'll just read and we'll just see where we go. So, Chapter 1, Journey of Self-Discovery. This is the physics of the self. So, in October 1973, Dr. Gregory Binford, an associate professor of the physics at the University of California at the Irvine, visits SP in the garden of the Los Angeles Krishna Center. In the course of their intriguing discussion about the possibility of scientific understanding of the soul, SP declares that that we don't say that this scientific knowledge is useless. Mechanics and electronics, this is also knowledge. But the central point is the Atma and the jhana, or jhana. So self-knowledge and knowledge of the soul. So SP, I guess it's kind of like, okay, so this is written kind of like a play right now, right? So we've got SP, and then I'm just going to say DB for Dr. Binford, okay? So this is SP. Maybe I should do voices. Haha. All right, what is the current scientific knowledge about the spirit of the soul? Well, we have virtually no scientific knowledge about the soul. Well, therefore, you have actually made no advancements in the scientific knowledge? Well, scientific knowledge is a different class of knowledge. Perhaps there are so many departments of knowledge that the medical study of the body and the psychological study of the mind, and ultimately spiritual and transcendental knowledge. The body and the mind are simply the coverings of the spirit soul. So, just as the shirt and the coat are coverings for your body, if you simply take care of the shirt and the coat and neglect the person who is covered by the shirt and the coat, do you think that this is advancement of knowledge? Well, I think that there is no category of knowledge that is useless. Well, don't say that scientific knowledge is useless mechanics and electronics. This is also knowledge. But the different departments of knowledge differ in their comparative importance. For example, if someone wants to cook nicely, this is also a science. There are many different departments of knowledge, but the central point is the Atma and the Jhana. So self-knowledge and the knowledge of the soul. So we're going to hear a lot of that, and I'm going to have to learn what that word really, how to really pronounce it. But anyway. Well, the only form of knowledge that is verifiable in the sense of getting everybody to agree with it, is that which can be provided logically or experimentally. Well, the science of self can be verified logically. How so? This is so fun. Just consider your body. You once had the body of a child, but now you don't have that body anymore. You have a different body. Yet anyone can understand that you once had the body of a child, so your body has changed, but you're still remaining. I am not so sure it is the same. Yes, you are the same. Just as the parent of the child would say after he was grown up, oh, just see how our son has grown. He's the same person, his parents say. His friends say so. His family say so. Everyone says so. So this is the evidence. You have to accept this point because there's so much evidence. Your mother will deny that you are a different person even though you have a different body. Well, but I may not be the same being that I was. Correct. Not the same means, for example, that a young child may talk nonsense now, but when he gets an adult body, he does not speak foolishly. Although he is the same person, along with the change in the body, he has developed a different consciousness. But the spirit soul, the person, is the same. So he acts according to his body. That's all according to his circumstance. A dog, for example, is also a spirit soul. But because he has a dog body, he lives and acts like a dog. Simply, when the spirit soul has a child's body, he acts like a child. And when he has a different body, the same soul acts like a man. So according to circumstances, his activities are changing, but he is the same person. For example, now you are a scientist. In your childhood, you were not a scientist. So your dealings at the time were not those of a scientist. Those dealings may change according to circumstance, but the person's still the same. So therefore, the conclusion is that I don't know how to say that. Tatha Dihanatara Parath, whatever. When this body is finished, the soul gives it up and accepts another body, which is the Tata Dahantra, which means another body. Dahantra means another body. This is our Sanskrit knowledge from the Bhagavad. Oh, maybe that's the Bhagavad. The Bhagavad. Anyway, I'll have to look these words up. I apologize. So when the spirit soul is injected into the womb of a woman, it forms a little body, right? So gradually through the emulsification. Oh shoot! Sorry. There. Yep. Something pretty to look at. Okay. So therefore, the conclusion is Tata Dahantra Prafati. When this body is finished, the soul gives it up and accepts another body. So in the Bhaktivedanta, the Tata Dahantra means another body. This is our Sanskrit knowledge from the Bhaktivedanta. When the spirit soul is injected into the womb of a woman, it forms a little body. So gradually, through the emulsification of secretions, the body develops to the size of a pea because of the presence of the spirit soul. So eventually, the body develops 9 holes. Oh, that's tossed teachings. Okay, 9 holes. The eyes, the ears, the mouth, the nostrils, the genitals, and the rectum. This is the way the body is developed to completion in 6.5 months. Then consciousness comes. Okay. So eyes is 2 holes. Ears, so your senses, eyes, nose, mouth. Okay, genital, rectum. Yeah, those are all sense organs. Oh, I get it. Okay, so anyway, I think we're gonna stop there. Yep. Yep, we're gonna stop there. All right. I will get a little more educated on the verbiage, and then we will go from there because this sounds pretty cool so far. So, anyway, love you, son. All my children, all my sons. I have a few of them. Which, by the way, the twins. Oh man, Caleb and Cameron, I love you guys so much. I'm gonna be down there as soon as I can. I know this is a really, really hard time, and then I was gonna do, a video for you guys. So just done the one for Antonio for his birthday, and then that just happens to be that day that Melvin, that they buried Melvin. So for you guys that don't know, we just had it's my grandfather, my kids' great grandfather just passed this Thursday while I was in Prescott getting my iron infusion. And then they buried him on my oldest son's birthday on this 18th of June. So yeah, I've got a lot going on right now. So I don't know how fast I'm gonna put any of these out, or what they're even gonna be like. And then it may be like it is right now, where it's just a picture. All you see is my painting or whatever. So anyway, it is what it is. And good night. Love you, kids. Bye.